Hello and welcome back to AKA Science. I'm Max and this is Forensics Class 4, Digging in the Dirt. I can tell you from experience that this is a particularly messy class, so make sure to leave time for cleanup. We have 2 prep steps today. Using items from the class bag, or whatever you have handy, set up a visually striking scene for the first activity, What Did You See? The second step is a bit of a mouthful, so I'm going to include it with the video segment. Only one vocab term this time around, that being forensic archaeology. A field of forensics where the methods of archaeology, such as digging, excavating, and cataloging, are used to recover evidence in an investigation. Before we get our hands dirty, let's do a quick little activity called What Did You See? You remember that pile of stuff you laid out? Set the timer for 15 seconds and have your students take as thorough a look at the scene as possible. When time's up, have them turn around and describe the scene to you as accurately as they can. Now remove an item or two from the scene. This can be as obvious or subtle as you want. Have your students turn back around and figure out what went missing. Clean up the clutter and get ready to make a whole new mess with Dig It. Begin by passing out 1 aluminum tray to each student. Using the 2-ounce cup, have the students put 2 scoops of soil into the bottom of their tray. Next, pass out the bags of sand and, once again, add 2 scoops to the tray. Lastly, pass out the bags of gravel and, you guessed it, have them add 2 scoops to the tray. Now, distribute the paintbrushes and the evidence. 1 bead, 1 button, 1 penny, 1 shell, and 1 2-inch piece of yarn. Have your students hide the evidence in their trays, using the end of their paintbrushes to bury them in the different layers. Now, pass out a pencil, half sheet of paper, and 2 rubber bands to each student, and have them stretch the rubber bands around the tray so they form a cross over the opening. Have them divide their half sheet of paper into 4 quadrants, and label them top left, bottom left, top right, and bottom right. Now, have your students trade trays with one another, and carefully begin to excavate the pieces of evidence, keeping track of where they found what on their half sheets of paper. Rebury, trade, and excavate again as time allows, but make sure you leave time for our final activity, getting the dirt on it. Let's begin with those prep steps I mentioned earlier. Label 4 of the 6-inch plates Suspect 1, Suspect 2, Suspect 3, and Evidence, or you can just put a question mark if you want. Then, use the calibrated 1-ounce cup to add 1 ounce of sand to the Suspect 1 plate, topsoil to Suspect 2, gardening soil for number 3, and topsoil once again in Evidence. Now, pass out the index cards and have the students divide them into 4 sections, labeled 1, 2, 3, and question mark. At each of the labeled plates, have your students press the sticky side of a piece of tape into the sample and then stick the tape in the corresponding quadrant of your card. Once all 3 samples are collected, have them sample the question mark plate and figure out which of the 3 samples it appears most similar to. With that, it is time to clean up, debrief, and case closed. Thank you for joining me. If you have any lingering questions, go to akascience.org, and I'll see you in Class 5.